Ride with you through the morning major headlines. On the show this morning, we're going to dive straight into the front pages of the national dailies, the key stories, the pressing issues, and the headlines shaping conversations across the country. And we are not stopping there. Our trusted analyst will be here to break it down to us and give us context to the stories that matter most. So buckle up this morning and stay close. This is Press Drive, news, clarity, and perspective on the goal. It seems most of the national dailies have been bought this morning, but we have few headlines daring. So we're going to kickstart with the Nigerian Tribune. Remember, today is the 17th day in the month of June 2025. And like I told you before, the headlines, most of the dailies have been bought by the FCT minister this morning because, the President Tinubu is commissioning the Mabushi bus terminal as a flags of construction of new INEC headquarters today. So, headlines from the Nigerian Tribune: 36,000 youths to participate as federal government unveils confab registration portal. That's on page 26. And in Benue, Defense Chief vows to take battle to terrorists as Tinubu visits states tomorrow. Alright, and we have arrived on that. Mindless act of terror will be curtailed, coming from IGP. And 17 Benue local government areas were under siege, now reduced to 6, coming from Governor. And that's on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Away from that, and now to the Guardian. From the Guardian newspaper, we have a lot of headlines, and here are some of them. Sokoto to negotiate with repentant bandit to end insecurity. That's on page 9 of the Guardian. Tanker drivers suspend loading over Lekki Epe e-call up fee. That's on page 7. Alright, we have more. CDS links military saboteurs to Benue massacre ahead of Tinubu's visit. That's on page 6 as well. And the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority CEO traveled on official engagement, not under investigation. That's on page 7. And on petrol, Pengasan accuses government marketers of exploiting consumers. That's on page 4. Damagun denied defection plans as Tinubu ex-aide vows to plot his 2027 defeat. That's on page 6 of The Guardian as well. Declining food prices. Stable forex reduced inflation to 22.97% in May. That's on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. A quick look at the New Telegraph newspaper. We have these headlines on the front page. Banks in 17% to 4.33 trillion naira. And we have this one coming from the World Bank. FDI flows into developing countries hit 18 years low. FDI flow into the on page 25. And we have more. Tinubu inaugurates Abuja $470 million water supply project. Wike vows to extend project to rural areas. That's on page 5. Rain, erosion destroy 11 buildings, bridge, others in Niger communities. and NIMET predicts 3-day thunderstorms and rain. That's on page 29 of the New Telegraph. FCCPC summons Air Peace over flight cancellations, unpaid funds. That's on page 4. And debris falls in Iranian TV studio during live broadcast as Israel strikes state media. That's on page 4 of the New Telegraph. On killings, Tinubu postpones Kaduna trip to visit Benue tomorrow. As writer says, state police now national imperative. We have other headlines, sub-headlines underneath. We have Defense Chief IGP visits Benue. CDS vows to end banditry in Nigeria. People may be forced to defend themselves. Coming from David Mark, NYCN. Akume, Obi, PDP, ACF, CAN, JNI, others condemn massacre, call for urgent action. All of that on page 2, page 3, page 5, page 6 and 7 of the New Telegraph. Fuel should sell for 700 naira per litre, coming from Pegasan, with sub-headlines daring, which I'm going to tell you about pretty soon. Alright, still from the New Telegraph newspaper, fuel should sell for 700 naira per litre, coming from Pegasan. As writer says, the marketers exploiting Nigerians, tax NMDPRA on regular publication of pricing template. Nigeria's crude oil output fell by 33,000 barrels per day to 1.46 million barrel per day in May, coming from OPEC. That's on page 4 and page 8 of the New Telegraph. And now to Rivers, rejects Tinubu's appointment request, but the judge tells Senate. As writer says, Nigeria's sliding into full dictatorship. That's on page 2. And a study right here from the New Telegraph says, rich diets in fruits, vegetables promotes better sleep health. That's on page 31 of the New Telegraph. And from the Punch newspaper, yes, this one seems sponsored as well, but we have a few headlines there. Benue bloodbath. CDS IG launch cross-border manhunt for killers. Tinubu to visit Benue today, Wednesday. President moves to reconcile Akume, Governor Alia. That's on page 2. On 2027, APC talks tough as pressure mount over Tinubu's running mate. That's on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. And from the Vanguard this morning, we have few headlines there too. Bloodletting, Tinubu shifts Kaduna trip, head for Benue. Tinubu shifts Kaduna trip, heads for Benue. That's on page 5. And Israel-Iran war, 330,000 flee Tehran. Oil price drops to 4%. That on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper, with just one headline, as the front page is also bought this morning. Benue killings, David Mark warns of self-defense as Tinubu visits. This and more are the headlines making the rounds from our dailies this morning. Now it's time for us to go into details of some of them, and some of the ones we get to check out this morning is President Tinubu heading to Benue to address insecurity going on right there. And also we're going to talk about state police, as how as the IGP speakers clash, as state police debate intensify. We get to talk about that too. And also we also get to talk about the Benue bloodbath, a CDS IG launch cross-border manhunt for killers. This and more we get to talk about this morning. Remember, we're live on Facebook. On Facebook is at I-FLIER 103.3 FM live, at I-FLIER 103.3 FM live. Drop your comment right there and would love to read from you this morning. With me in the house is Barrister Folusho Lakpo. Good morning to you, sir.
Yes, good morning this morning, darling. How are you today?
I'm well.
Hope you have a very good night rest.
I tried.
Good morning, Nigerians, and I greet you once again. Yesterday was the Day of the African Child. A day for us to actually think deep, especially here in Nigeria. This day was designed to commemorate the 1976 uprising in South Africa, Soweto, South Africa, where thousands of students marched through streets, protesting and wanting the South African government to about the quality of their education and to be the right to be taught in their own local languages. Unfortunately, the government opened fires on them and killed hundreds of them. So since then, the African Union, OAU, then begin to mark that day as the Day of the African Child. So all I'm saying here is that we need to look deep into our own government. What is the position of African children today, especially Nigerian children? Are Nigerians having the best of education, and are they being taught even in their mother's language? I think Nigeria have to rethink their system, and we have to rejig our educational sectors to meet and to be able to train our children in a way that they will become virtuous children and virtuous men and women tomorrow. Good morning this morning.
Thank you very much for that one. A popular African man, I can't recall his name now, has said that if Nigeria can get it right, then African countries can also get it right.
That's Professor Lumumba.
Lumumba, yes, thank you. All right, now we want to start our our story this morning from the Benue saga. And before we go into what is going to happen today, I want to quickly talk about the untold story of how herdsmen reduced Benue communities to ashes, burnt over 300 alive. The people of Yelawata, a quiet farming settlement tucked along the trail end of Benue State on the Abuja-Makurdi highway, will forever remember June 13 and 14, 2025, not just another date on the calendar, but as the darkest chapter in their history. On that harrowing Friday night, Saturday morning, residents of the town woke to the deafening crackle of fire hams, gunfire, the glow of burning homes, stores, and the horrifying cries of children being hacked, shot, or burnt alive by suspected armed herdsmen. By the break of dawn on Saturday, May 14, June 14, over 300 lives had been cut short, hundreds of homes reduced to ashes, and the town's one thriving heartbeat silenced by grief. More than 300 lives were lost that night in what survivors and residents now describe as the single community known for nothing but quiet labor on their ancestral farmlands. This tragic story was not just shocking, it is soul shattering. It was like a war. In my 57 years on earth, I'd never witnessed this. I escaped with my third son. My wife and other children were not so lucky. My word ended that Friday night, coming from an elder, Elder Moses, his voice trembling as he spoke with newsmen. The attack, which many survivors believed was a planned and coordinated one, came amid rising tension between local Benue farmers and herders operating within the region. Just few weeks earlier, traditional rulers across Tifi and Idoma lands had issued a directive asking all herders to vacate their lands by the end of May due to recurring violence and destruction of farmlands. That ultimatum was never enforced, and the consequences became painfully clear in Yewata. That's an untold story of what happened in Benue, especially that community known as Yewata. Alright, and in the midst of all of this, the president has finally cancelled his trip to Kaduna so he could go to Benue himself to address the crisis. President Bola Tinubu has scheduled his official visit to Kaduna State, opting instead to travel to Benue State on Wednesday, June 18, 2025, to engage directly with stakeholders over the recurring crisis that has gripped the North Central states. This presidency announced this on Monday that the president's decision to prioritize Benue follows a renewed push for peace amidst the cycle of violence that has claimed numerous lives and displaced scores of residents across the state's troubled communities. A statement issued by Special Advisor to the President, Bayo Ononuga, said President Tinubu will visit Benue State on Wednesday, which is tomorrow, as part of renewed effort to foster peace and address the persistent conflict affecting communities in the state. The truth is, I read this from the Nation newspaper, but another version of this story from the Daily Post makes us to realize that following critics, that is why the president had to, a lot of Nigerians have been clamoring for him to visit the place because he seems not to be interested as to what is happening in that state. And prior to now, we've been seeing lots and lots and lots of incidents happen in Benue State. But this one seems to be the height of it, because 300 lives, more than 300 lives, were lost in the space of going to bed one night and waking up the next morning. And this had to lead the president to, cancel his schedule for Wednesday and go there tomorrow. Rivers State is not even up to this before they actually called for a state of emergency.
That Rivers State is another thing. Let's leave that.
Okay.
At least they were not killing themselves.
All right. They were not killing themselves.
Okay, so it's just political imbroglio.
Is it not too late
for Mr. President?
For the Mr. President to must he wait till Wednesday?
When it comes to this, I was really angry until somebody said he cancelled his Kaduna trip to be in Benue. Why? It's no longer one needed there. The time he ought to have gone there has passed. But of course, as the president, he has his prerogative. But if Nigeria is a country that the life of a person matters, then by now he should have been there more than 2 or 3 times. Remember when he was away, there was several deaths too. About 150 people died. He came back and nothing was done. And even in this one, it happened. What did anybody say in government? Nothing. Until the youth of Benue now have to block the Makurdi Abuja road. The police came, the deputy governor came to address them. They said they don't want those people. Let the governor himself come. But what did they do that? No, they begin to fire tear gas and everything on them so that to disperse them. But of course, I think that sounded ring a bell in the ears of the handlers of Mr. President. Now the question is this: assuming that those people did not protest against the killings that is going on in that place, would Mr. President say he will go there? In fact, Mr. President did not. In fact, he disappointed me by defecting the responsibility to Mr. I-FLIER. That is the governor. There's a reason Mr. President is the commander-in-chief of. Unfortunately, there's no governor in this country that has the power over the police. The police, not to talk of the military. The constitution made them the chief security officer of their state, but they cannot secure anything. In fact, they cannot secure their own life. Remember the former governor of Benue State, Mr. Otom, was nearly assassinated. They have to run with his legs. Mr. Governor running into the bush and all to escape death. So, and we are saying let Governor I-FLIER do that. With what? We talk about money. This government talk about money every day. We are making money. We are making progress. The GDP is regular. The Guinea. What of the human life? What of the human the capacity? Increasing the capacity of people, making life matters. In fact, somebody said, Mr. President, when he came, said they want the poor to breathe. Of course, but he hurt their nose. He wanted them to breathe, but he took their nose from them. So with what would they breathe? He released the breath, but there's no nose to do that. And it's not good. So he now decided that he's going to cancel the Kaduna trip. These people had been killed almost on daily basis. What comes from Mr. People will say we are blaming Tinubu as if he's the only one in this government, because he has the most power. Is the all powerful of them.
He's the commander of the armed forces.
Armed forces, and especially because out of the 91 or 81 powers of this country, the constitution gives to the federal government 61. So if you have that, then who do we complain to? Who do we run to when things are happening to us? It's not that we hate Mr. President. We do not hate him, but we want him to do the best. We want him to be his best for his people. If one life, 2 lives is killed in another country, our own president will be sending commiseration messages to them. And thousands of people are being killed monthly, yearly basis, and its government appears not to even mind. Over 200 people would have been killed like that, and nobody would have said anything, especially if those youths did not protest. Must it come to protest before people do what they are supposed to do? Must it come to protest before people are made to be responsible for the monies they are being paid for? These people are not doing it for free. Even Mr. President is not doing it for free. We clothe him, we feed him, we house him, we give him anything he wanted. He said he wanted a yacht, Nigeria bought. They want 1 billion naira car, they gave it to him. They want a house, they gave it to him. He said they still want this. So what is our offense then? I think people have to rethink now. Because if death is just coming in to pick people, just like that, people slept, and by the time they were waking up in the next day, hundreds of people are dead. Why? Because some people just have to come into that state and begin to kill people. So what happened? What is the reason for this? What is Mr. President doing? What is the Chief of Army Staff, Chief of General Staff doing? It's only yesterday that Mr. IG now think it fit to visit there. What has it been doing since then?
I was going to say that too, because now the military and the police have launched, a joint cross-border manhunt for the gunmen who actually.
When Mr. I-FLIER, the governor of Benue State, told them then that the reason for these people is not just for heading, that it's about land grabbing. They said it's a lie. They were killing people in Benue, they were killing people in Plateau, and these two governors said the reason for the people, for these herders to attack and be killing people is because they want to take over their land, to argue amongst themselves. Mm-hmm. Even if it's not, why can't you investigate on your own? You just allow your people to be killed anyhow. How do we even come here? Because how? I can't imagine. There was once a man, when he was full military officer, the former Mr. President, there was an attack from Chad to Nigeria. Single-handedly, he drove them back as a military officer. He took his people. That's the former Buhari, Buhari when he was
former Buhari.
In fact,
when he was still a military leader.
I think it was the governor of Borno, military governor of Guinea then. So he drove them. In fact, single-handedly before the military office, the head of state knew what was even happening. So where are those powers? Where are those actions that were then? Where do we keep them, or we just forgot about them? Why can't we just defend the lives of people? Life matters. Nobody can create life. We should respect people's lives. So people will be killed and everybody will just be doing as if nothing happened. And let one of them die. They will declare 1 month money. They will fly the flag low. They will do everything, state burial and everything. And when the life of an ordinary citizen is lost, people just behave
just count losses. That's all. As
if nothing happened. The life of a king and that of an ordinary person is not different. Life is life. Blood is blood. The way you care for yourself or you become whatever you become, it's what is the difference there. So you don't just because you are in high place and begin to forget the people even that made you that. Because even the Constitution, section 1 of the Constitution said sovereignty belongs to the people, meaning the power of this country belongs to the people, and you have to protect the people. Section 14 said of that same Constitution said the welfare and security of the people is paramount. So what happens? Now we need to rethink. That's all I can just say. Well, I wish him good luck. Let him go to Benue and let them find a solution to this, whether it's late or not. But it's never late. How do they say it? It's better late than being never. Delayed. Yeah. So I think it should go and let's see what will happen thereafter.
Okay. Still talking about Benue, Akome, OB, PDP, ACF, CAN, JNI, others have also condemned the massacre, and they have called for urgent action. Now, the president is going there tomorrow.
Akome is the secretary to this government. He was the former governor of that state.
Yes.
And has not been saying anything.
But it seems there has been a rift between himself and...
if there is a rift between him and the governor, is it not different from that of the people? The people he wants to pretend they are killing them and you kept quiet because you are in Aso Rock enjoying yourself? I am so disappointed in these people, to be sincere. 2027, maybe we'll be counting how many people remain. And I God forbid.
Okay. All right. Still, the Benue killing now. David Mark has also warned of self-defense as President Tinubu visits, because people obviously are angry.
If the youth can come out, it's going to that. If they've been killing them now, they didn't do anything. And now they said enough is enough. The deputy governor wanted to speak with them. They said no, because I watched it, and the commissioner of police went there too. They said, "Oga, go. It's not you that we wanted to talk to. We want to talk to our. At least we are the one that voted him as governor. Where is he? He was sending the deputy. We don't want the deputy. We want you. You are the one that we voted for." And the police have to now come and fire tear gas against them and disperse them. But of course, they made their mark, and I like them for that. If we can, even if there can be actions like that, I think this government will see. Shebi now they protested. President knew he should visit the state, assuming nothing happened, we will just life will just continue like that, as if nothing happened.
Happens.
Life
of people, not chickens.
The chicken,
even cows
chicken gone. Sometimes
I'm sure the Senate to talk about it.
Sometimes you lose your pets and you begin to look for it all over the place, and that is an animal. But people's life have been lost, and we just act as if nothing happened. The other day, a corpse was just there in Iwo Road, around Bishop Phillips for 5 days. Not until myself and Honorable now have to say, Honorable, this thing will cause katakata here, because if that cause burst, then we are in it. The smell, just opposite Academy Market. We have to, I said, Honorable, we have to do something. He has now to send a message to the platform that included the governor, and between 5 minutes they've come to pack the corpse. So, and these people have been passing through all those places and nothing happened. I think we too, the citizens, have to stand. We have to stand for our rights. The children of South Africa, that the one that I said before, they stood against the oppressive government of South Africa then. Apartheid government. They stood against it. They killed them, but of course they got what they wanted. We'll just sit back and just feel like nothing is happening. Let them be killing. In fact, I don't know how people take life. Life is sacred. Life is bad. Some people will do road, they will not do it well until there will be several accidents there. And when it affects one of them, they will now know that they have to do the place again. I just pray that may God forgive us in this country. The blood that we are letting is too much. And probably maybe that's why we are even suffering. We do not care for each other anymore. People just kill anybody anyhow, as if people are chicken.
Okay, let's leave Benue State now.
Please.
We'll go on a quick commercial and we'll be right back.
Buying the right product is inconvenience. Either you're buying for your business or home use. Femiel Multiventures, your ultimate shopping destination, stands out when it comes to meeting your event and family needs. Explore a wide range of products and services today. Buy affordable wholesale foods and drinks for your next event or home use. We are also the best plug to get your rentals, chairs, plates, spoons, tables, coolers, drums, and all you need for your next event. At Femiel Multiventures, we also sell solid, durable, and affordable ice blocks to keep your drinks cool and refreshing. Come one, come all to also try our eatery and experience delicious meals like never before. You can find us at number 1 Pineapple Area, Iletitun, along Oki Ogunbade axis. Telephone 0912 345 4561 or 0904 254 5770. Femiel Multiventures, your one-stop shop, evidence of things not seen.
All right, you're still tuned in to I-FLIER 103.3 FM, and this is Press Drive. Away from Benue State, let's talk about the state police debate between the IG and the speakers. All right, so the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, and the Conference of Speakers of the State Houses of Assembly on Monday expressed divergent views on the advocacy for state police creation, while the police boss reiterated his earlier position that what the Nigerian police force needed to tackle the security challenges in the country was adequate funding. The chairman of the Conference of Speakers of State Houses of Assembly, Debo Ogundoyin, called for a multi-layered policing model as obtained in other parts of the country. They spoke in Abuja on Monday at the Constitution Review Legislative Dialogue on the Natural Security Architecture. The dialogue with the theme Nigerians' Peace and Security, the Constitutional Imperative, was organized by the House of Representatives Committee on Constitution Review in collaboration with the Office of the National Security Advisor. Egbetokun said the Nigerian police force is constitutionally established under Section 214, subsection 1 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. The section reads, "There shall be a police force for Nigeria, which shall be known as the Nigerian Police Force, and subject to the provisions of this section, no other police force shall be established for the Federation or any part thereof." End of quotes. Egbetokun also cited Section 215, subsection 1, which provides for the appointment of the Inspector General of Police by the President on the advice of the Nigerian Police Force. These constitutional provisions make clear the centralized character of policing in Nigeria and the operational authority entrusted to the Inspector General of Police under the supervision of the President and Police Council. End of quotes. Alright, so what do you have to say as regards this? Because the IG noted that the Constitution created certain omission that impeded the effective performance of the Nigerian Police Force and other security agencies in addressing the challenges of security. So he's of the opinion that according to the Nigerian Constitution that I've just read, all right, the Constitution only makes provision for the Nigerian Police Force, no other.
And that is why we wanted it to change. Law is made for people and not people for law. And if you remember the first time Mr. President came in and they introduced this, he was, channeling the same position. And later he apologized that was not what he said, that he was quoted out of content. This same Mr. IG, because that was his position then, that no, we do not want state police, instead we want one police as it's provided for in the Constitution, and that police should be well funded. There has been several police fund, Nigerian Police Fund, which fund the police special platform that was created to fund the police and all that. What happened? Now let us come back to our country. At least to put it in perspective.
Okay.
What is the meaning of federation? I think if you know that, we will know whether it is necessary that we should have state police and even local government police rather than just one singular police. A federation, according to the dictionary, is made of constituent states and a central government. The constituent states are independent of themselves according to their customs, traditions, and languages. So, and they are independent, almost independent of themselves. What they just did, those states did, was to just donate the power for common central could manage it for it. The Yoruba will have, is a Yoruba state. The Igbo is an Igbo state. The Tiv is an Tiv state. The Fulanis are Fulani state. The Calabaris are Calabari state. So each one of them, comes together to make a nation. And from this nation, they created a central government, wherein the central government would have to deal with common purposes alone. Now, if the Yoruba for instance, if the West, let's use the West and the South and whatever that we'll be using. If the West is almost independent of the North, and the North is almost independent of the South, it is given that they have their way of life. It is given that because they have their way of life, they will have their own way of doing things. And that is why customs or culture is different from one place to another. Even in Yoruba land, if you go to some communities, though it will have some semblance, there may be little differences. For instance, I think 20 naira as bride price, irrespective of the fact that in Igbo land, bride prices goes into millions of naira, but in that community it's still 20 naira. So meaning that even in the same place, even in the same community, there may be a slight differences from in the traditions and the practices of that place. So the Nigeria in every in the first republic, each of the states had their own police. In fact, the Nigerian police that we now call the Nigerian police started as a constabulary police of the north, of the Hausa, that the then governor created for them. I think Lord Lugard and all that. So each of the states had their own police. In every federal nation, like US, like UK, each of the states have their own different police, apart from the federal police. And I think when Mr. President came, he was able, to ensure to bring in on all the governors, even to sign on it. I don't know why Mr. IGP is still singing the same tune. I think somebody have to tell him that the train had moved from where he's sitting to a new place where there is going to be state policing, especially with everything that is happening today. Do you think if Benue has its own police with every assortment and everything, people will just be coming to their community and be killing like that? If the police, even the federal police today, if they do not have something that they are hiding from Nigerians, I don't think there's anything. At least it won't stop their salary if they still have their police. They belong to the federal government. And do you know the worst thing? State governors sometimes, we have to equip the police in their states. And again, they are not in direct control of those places. Look at what happened in Lagos, when a sitting governor have to be telling a superintendent of police to do something. They went to a place, I think in Magodo, and the governor said they should live there. The man said, "Who are you to talk to me like that?" Superintendent of police is talking to a sitting governor of a state. Who are you to talk to me like that? I don't take orders from you. I take order from my superior. And before I can leave this place, I have to call Abuja or call to my superior. So if a sitting governor cannot order an ordinary superintendent of police, then I don't know what remains again. So whether the IGP likes it or not, by the grace of God, this constitutional amendment that is happening, even at the National Assembly, it will come to pass. State police will come to stay by the grace of God. Because we have state police before some people just take again. There will be federal police. The IGP can be the head of the federal police. The police in Oyo State, we have somebody. I don't know what they will call it, whether the IGP or police Oyo State. It will be in Oyo State. It will be our own son. Amas or DC. Bó jẹ́ àmàlà lájọ ń jẹ, a sọ fún pé ọ̀gá ṣó ń jẹ́ àmàlà ń bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n ti ń pa àwọn èèyàn bíbá yìí kó tètè lọ́bẹ̀. You will know what to do.
Okay, 0705 500 1033, 0905 444 1033, 0905 444 1033, 0705 500 1033. Those are the two lines to get to use to be a part of the conversation. And you can drop a comment on the Facebook page. It will be read this morning as well. While we await calls, it's also very important to talk about the 753 Abuja housing unit. Court grant Emefiele 2 billion naira bill. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. Oops. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Yes, my name is Caleb Alabi from Lake Shogodo.
You're welcome.
I just want to comment on the Secretary to Defense Chief, saying that they are going to take a battle to the terrorists when the attack has been done. It's better. This ministry, they strategize. Enough of talk is enough. Enough of talk is enough. You should back up his statement with action instead of saying you are going to take battle to the territory of terrorists when the attack has been done. If they are in short supply of equipment, they should order for more equipment to battle these terrorists. Secondly, on the issue of NIMET, that has predicted 3 days isolated a thunderstorm.
Yes.
My first, coupled with the rain, my first to the people that they should not work in rain. Also, these are airline operators. They should be helped with the NIMET so to enable them plan their operation. That's my comment this morning.
Thank you very much, Mr. Labi. We'll go on a quick commercial. We'll take calls after.
Are you looking for the perfect spot to host your next event? Or maybe a cozy place to relax and have some fun? Welcome to Feniel Multipurpose Hall. Whether it's a wedding, birthday, seminar, or family gathering, our event center is perfectly designed to give you a grand experience. You can as well watch football matches at our viewing center, which brings the stadium experience right to you. For the kids, our children playground is packed with fun and safety. We also have a game center with varieties to keep the fun going, and a guest house for relaxation and comfort. Why settle for less when you have the best? Located beside Eagle Flight Academy, Amero, along Oki Ogunbade axis, Ibadan. Visit Femiel Multipurpose Hall today or call us on 0912 345 4561 or 0904 245 5770 for bookings and inquiries. Femiel Multipurpose Hall. Experience more, enjoy more.
0705 500 1033 0905 444 1033. All right, comment from the Facebook page. Tolulope Adeyemi says, good morning. The police IGP Egbetokun is only being selfish and does not want to lose grip of his power, because we all know that the central police architecture has been overwhelmed and no longer working again, and as such the only way out is state police, since security is local, and the performance of Amotekun Corps here in Oyo State is giving us the assurance that our local outfits would do well if state police should be allowed. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Marvelous.
Good morning, Tolu.
Yeah, a very good morning to you, my daddy.
Yeah, Tolu, good morning this morning.
It's good to hear your voice this morning again, sir.
Thank you very much, dear. How are you?
Yeah, the visit of the president to Benue State, the massacre, everything surrounding security. Essentially, why I agree that the visit of the president is a welcome development. At least why didn't do that during his tenure? But the president is having that will to go and see his people, actually. But the question now is, after the visit, what happens? Yes, because we need him to have that political will to do something in this regard. We don't want these killings to continue again. Imagine over 200 people are just been killed. What happened? Will it just go away like that? This is out of place, and it is very, 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 very condemnable. So the government needs to do something on time. Yes. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Tolu. 0705 500 1033 0905 444 1033. Pastor Dr. Mukaila Famiwa says, good morning, I-FLIER family. On visits to Benue by Tinubu tomorrow, it's one thing to visit, it's another to have lasting solutions to the killings. There should be permanent and everlasting solutions. By my schedule, I'm supposed to be at UAM Makodi since last month, but I'm scared. I have to stay back because of the killings. Tinubu should not go and blow grammar. We want permanent solutions. Good morning. Right. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Sister Marvelous.
Good morning, Sister Ruth.
Yes, ma'am. We're calling from Malakia.
Yes,
I give my daddy. Good morning to you, sir.
Yes, Sister Ruth, good morning this morning.
Yes, sir.
How are
thank
you
you,
today?
sir. Fine, thank you, sir. You know, on the issue of insecurity, it's high time Baba Tinubu and the IGP knows the way out to tackle these menace is to have state police. Because bringing someone from north to guide us in Oyo State here can't work. Because we all know security is local. They should please be more proactive in tackling anything that will affect the masses. Because we just don't want all these solutions on the pages of the newspaper We can't enjoy it again. All this killing, we can't enjoy it again. We can still enjoy all this high in the weapon price, high in food prices. But insecurity, no. We should please be more proactive with money, man.
Thank you very much, Sister Ruth. 0705 500 1033. 0905 444 1033. Right. Toluwa Lashe Adetola says, on the Benue and some northern state killings, the respective state governors should effectively make use of their security votes to protect their citizens by recruiting more local security personnel and empowering them, as the Oyo State, Osun State, and other state governors are doing in their respective states to protect their citizens. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, ma.
Good morning to you, sir.
It's Comrade Kenjoju from Moloto.
You're welcome.
I greet Barrister.
Good morning, comrade. How are you today, sir?
Barrister has said it all. You know, the government in Nigeria, the government of President Bola Tinubu is in earthly, because we don't see the utility of the government. It should wake up. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, comrade. And Daddy Fashina Isiaka says, good morning to both of us. Thank you, sir. 0705 500 1033, 0905 444 1033. And this is coming from Dadiola Kunle Akamu. It says, good morning, a great theme, well done. I-FLIER radio is the best. This insecurity in the north central and other parts of the country should be tackled headlong. Use of latest technology and intelligence is urgently needed. Security of life and property is paramount. God will continue to guide our leaders. God bless our great country, Nigeria. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good morning, sir.
I'm calling from Abuja.
Okay, your name, sir?
Jerry.
Okay, you're welcome, sir.
Please, my own advice is that the first thing is that the problem of the Benue people lies within this what we can call some people that are spies. Spies. There are a lot of spies there that are leaking secrets of how to enter Benue to the radars.
Okay.
So one needs to talk to their governor. They should set up a lot of local vigilante that we assist them. At least if you look at what is happening in Oyo State, all these small vigilante group and some military men, some are they are different places overnight, because most of these people come to attack in the dead of the night. They won't come during the day.
Amen.
That's just it.
Thank you very much, sir, from Akobo. And Mariam Yetunde says, good morning. The president's condolence visits to Benue wouldn't bring back the lives lost. It is disheartening that security is being taken lightly. A country plagued with insecurity can't thrive. It's crucial to explore all solutions, including state police. Given the effectiveness of local security agencies in the southwest, particularly Damola Okunlola says, beautiful morning to you in the studio. Beautiful morning to you too. It's beginning to look like our politicians are more concerned about their political ambition than the lives of the people. The way Nigerians keep dying is becoming alarming. Why is the presidency yet to decentralize security? The IGP talked the way he did because his family is yet to be killed and kidnapped. State policing is the only solution to insecurity in this nation. Kudos to the southern governors for the initiative and Motekun. Thank you very much. 0705 500 1033, 0905 444 1033. Oluwaseun Root says, good morning. I hope the president visits to Benue State won't be another effort in futility and a mere politics as usual, because things are really degenerated in Benue State. What we want from him is to give an immediate order on how to end the banditry in the country, especially by having that political will in granting state police, because we all know security is local. Omadi Adekunle, wow, it's been a while, I think. All right, it says, on Mr. President's visit to Benue, it's a good one, but it's so unfortunate that they are being reactive instead of being proactive, because the life that has been lost cannot be brought back, unfortunately. All right, and Kolawole Adaramola, the skilling is too much and barbaric. This country is becoming a lawless country and fast-running banana republic. Blood is symbolic. Stop this bloodletting now. Otherwise, the nation would turn to a dark nation. This is a blood nation. God have mercy on us. All right, very good one. Thank you very much. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, Oluwatosin is my name. I'm calling from Zanzibar, please not also.
You're welcome, Mr. Oluwatosin. Yes, sir.
I greet you, Barrister. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning this morning, sir.
My contribution remains the same, like I've been saying. The same energy the federal government has been channeling to elections, that they keep deploying soldiers, police, civil defense, and all security apparatus to a particular state. They should channel the same energy to all these insecure states. Why have they not been doing that? They know what to do if they are ready to end insecurity in Nigeria. They will keep politicizing this thing. Why is it that it's only when the election is coming that is when we are rising in insecurity in Nigeria? Good morning.
Thank you very much, Mr. Oluwatosin. And I think with this call, we can say we have done well this morning, and then we have to do this again tomorrow.